Hey everyone, this is Jamie, along with my partner, Mr. Ben Malige. Say hi, Ben.
Hi.
Very good. He does a good job saying hi. We are the leaders of the Multifamily and More groups. Now we have 9 of them across the country, and what we've realized is there are questions, discussions, or whatever that pop up individually in each of the groups, and we're looking for a way to kind of bring those all together and hopefully give some insight, whether it's our own or if we maybe get some from other people that have more expertise in whatever the question may be, but at least tie them all together in a quick weekly video that we're going to call Meeting Minutes. Creative, huh? So this is our first Meeting Minutes segment, and hopefully you guys get a lot out of it. So that's the plan. Ben, thoughts?
Let's get right into it.
Okay.
Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you perfectly.
All right, perfect.
Man, a few words, Ben. What is it, raining down there?
It is. Still hot though.
Oh, it's Florida. It's always going to be hot.
Yeah.
This is a hurricane. Even then it's hot.
Yeah.
All right. So Ben, we had a few different questions pop up around the communities. We'll kind of tag team these. So the first one, very simple, is, hey, what property management software would not just us, but anybody recommend? So you want to take that and just talk about what we use?
Well, yeah, I probably can't speak for all the softwares. I can speak for Buildium because that's the one we've been using. And I don't think we have any criticism or things that we don't like about it. I think it's pretty cost effective. I believe there are other softwares that require you to have like something like 50 units and above to make it cost effective. Buildium is not the case. I think our subscription when we got it with the first 16 units was we're paying $486 a year. So it was like $40 a month.
Yeah.
Which is, pretty affordable. On top of that, I think, so we have like the Buildium Core subscription. It's not unlimited. We don't have everything. We still need to pay for extra things like e-leases and stuff like that. But that's probably something that if you're considering it, you can still charge back on the application fees or something like that. It's not really a big deal for us. And yeah.
It's $5 for an e-lease, right? So it's nothing crazy, even still. So go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and no. So I mean, it's very user friendly and I mean, easy to navigate. Customer service is great because I know I've had a few questions. You did too, Jamie. So it's pretty quick to get someone on the phone. They're always here to help. So yeah. Yeah,
no, that's true. Like we've had a couple of things pop up. They get on, they walk through it, they stay on the phone with you, very friendly. They're not robotic. They're not reading off of scripts. They're actually people who seem to know what they're doing and understand the product. If they need to get help, they do. There's something else I was going to say with Buildium so we have a local credit union that Buildium wasn't reconciling with. So anything that we would put into the credit union, we couldn't like plug that feed into Buildium. It just wasn't working. And it's funny, we let them know that months ago, and then suddenly we just got an email like months later that they've been working like, we're good on your bank now. Like, oh, okay. So even though we thought it was a lost cause, we had to self-reconcile all of the transactions. They took care of it. So yeah, been a fan. They have good reporting. It's really easy to accept payments. It's really easy to create the listings like that you put out on Zillow and Craigslist and all that stuff. Very, very user-friendly product for a pretty reasonable price. And like you said, Ben, Appfolio, I think, is one that has a requirement of a minimum number of units. People who know better, you can just post in the comments on the video and let us all know. Yardy's a popular one. I've heard good things about them, but again, we haven't used them, and I think they're more of a Buildium competitor. There's actually a company, I think it's called Revella, that's coming out with what's supposed to be like the Cadillac of management systems. I think it's a Detroit-based company, actually. I could be wrong about that, but I actually have a call with the owner or the creator of that company coming up here pretty soon, so we'll learn more about them. But Buildium for us has been the software. So, Any final thoughts on that one, Ben?
Nope, I like it.
All right, let's get to this next one. We're going to talk about how do you find multifamily deals. Me first or you?
We can talk a little bit about the different ways of finding them. The first one that comes to mind is obviously broker relationships. And that's the first one we tried at the beginning. And it took some time. It it was a little hard, especially when you don't have your first deal under your belt because they don't take you seriously. So Jamie, you had the idea of going a different route, which was effective networking, right? So yeah, that's like meetups and creating your own meetup and groups with like-minded people and just putting the word out there that you're looking for some stuff, what exactly you're looking for, and I mean that's how we found our first deal. You could also go to I guess eviction courts if you have time for that. Maybe try to sit in there in that room and find the one owner or manager that's just has a lot of files. He needs to do and just wait for him and start talking, having a conversation with him at the end, see if you can help him get rid of his issues by offering to purchase his apartment building. There's probably another way, which is more time consuming, which is pulling all the records from the county websites and then starting, a mailing campaign.
I could shortcut that. I got this tip from a multifamily investor actually, where you can go to an appraiser and like an appraiser in your market and tell them what county you want all of the listings for whatever, all of the, not listings, but all the properties in whatever range, like 5 units to 50 units or whatever. You pay for it. It's like $100, something like that. And you'll get that list specific for that county. So you don't have to pour through any records. They'll just give you, here's your criteria, and you can mail that list as opposed to using a list source or a Reonomy or something like that. So that's another tactic that I've heard. We haven't tried yet, but that I've heard you can do is leverage a local appraiser that you've worked with that will do it for a fee. They'll give you a list for a fee.
Interesting.
Yeah, but on your point about the eviction, the thing that I talked about, getting a list from an appraiser, it worked for this investor that I spoke to. We know of investors that eviction court has worked for, that's what they've done. They've gone down and waited to look for the most haggard and tired person there and say, hey, I'll buy that from you. And it's worked for them, right? So Lots of different ways, but our most effective way of getting any deal flow so far has been, I guess Joe Fairless would call it, this thought leadership platform that we've created with the Multifamily and More brand. Not why we did it, but it just kind of naturally is what's coming at us. We're getting people sending us stuff that we can either help them with, or people sending us stuff that they want to let us know about as far as investing.
And honestly, I don't think there's a magic formula or one method that works more better than the other. I guess if you're more outgoing and you like to talk to people, go with the networking or the broker relationships. If you're more of an analytical guy and you got more time on your hand, just try to pull some data and start doing some mailing. I think that the most important thing is to stay consistent in whatever model you choose to do, because nothing comes right away. So I would say the key is whatever you're trying to do to stay consistent.
Yeah, good. And we all know Ben's the big networking guy, man. He won't shut up. The guy just talks constantly. It's like,
Ben, can't stop myself.
Please just stop. Please. Anyway, next question is a little bit more technical. I like this question. What is your methodology on projecting out disposition cap rates? So to explain that real quick, when you buy at a certain cap rate, without getting into what a cap rate is, it's, kind of the percentage of return that you would expect if you bought the property cash. It's probably the best way to describe it. So when you buy at a certain cap rate for that market. The question is, when you dispose of the property, whether that's refinancing, selling, or whatever the case may be, what are you projecting your exit to be? What cap rate? Is it the same cap rate? Is it higher? Is it lower? What are you projecting it to be? And it gets into, some examples of what it might be. So without getting into that full question, but the question is, what is your methodology in projecting out disposition cap rates? So yeah, Ben, I'll let you want to start on this and I can plug in where needed.
Yeah, sure. I mean, you were talking about projecting at a lower cap rate. I would not do that. That's probably, called speculation, and then investing for speculation. That's, kind of the contrary of our model. I think it's very dangerous. I think adding half a point at least is being somewhat conservative. We tend to add a little more, knowing that we're maybe entering in a, we don't know, we're not sure what's going to happen. I think it kind of depends on on your investment strategy as well, because in our case, for this last deal, we knew that we were going to be in and out of it. When I say out, I mean the refinancing portion within 12 to 18 months, right? So it's kind of difficult to imagine that it would take like 3 points within that time period. So I think we just added a point or something like that, right?
Yeah. So you make a great point about the timeline. Like if you're holding long term, if you're gonna refi or sell at the 5, 7, 8, 10 year mark, that might look a little different than if you're doing what we're doing, which is trying to get out in like 12 to 36 months, right? So for us, yeah, we add a conservative amount. The benefit here of having a networking group that we're part of is that within that networking group, there are brokers, there are commercial lenders, and there are other sources that know this market that will leverage and say, hey, this is where we are. This is where we're going with this. What are your thoughts? And, we get a yay or nay. And even the financing package that we put together for any deal that we're going to do, just submitting in that what our projection is, and an underwriter is going to look at that and give us kind of some feedback on it. So for us, it's been 0.5 to 1 point, depending on, well, not even depending, but markets that we've looked at, the markets that we've purchased in and have looked at. But certainly there are many other methods, I'm sure. And again, for those that are out there that are investors, more sophisticated than we are, throw some comments down there and let people know what you do. So when you go to dispose of an asset or refi it, one, what's your exit strategy typically? And two, how do you project your exit cap rate? But that's ours. We add something to be conservative. It's like anything, set aside some money to make sure that you are budgeting for what may happen. It's the same thing. Go in with a conservative, higher cap rate at the time of exit. I think is the best thing there, whatever that might be, and use sources that you know of to help you with that. So,
yep.
How to capture that?
It was good, I think.
The hell, man. It was good, I think. I want like more rah-rah out of you, Benny Ben.
This was awesome.
Yeah. Do you want to get this last one? You want to sneak it in?
Which one?
So how does the self-directed IRA work for investing? So I'll take this because I think this is more, and I'm no expert with this, but I can give you the broad strokes. And remember, all of this stuff, like especially with this, talk to your financial advisor. We're not that, but I'll give you an idea. So self-directed IRA is an IRA, a retirement account that you can use to invest in real estate. You can direct where it goes, whether it's as debt or purchasing or whatever the case may be. Typically what you'll find is either people are investing directly in a self-directed, but more likely they're rolling money into a self-directed. If you've had a job and you had a 401k with that job and you've quit that job, no longer there, and that 401k is still sitting there, the fund is open, if you will, you got 50 grand in there or 20 grand or 100 grand or 200 grand, whatever, you can roll that amount over tax-free to a self-directed IRA, and then you can deploy those funds to acquire property within the IRA. All right. So be aware that anything that goes out comes from the IRA, and anything that comes in goes back into the IRA. So you would be reaping whatever return you're getting either from maybe buying a single family house that you're going to rent out, or investing maybe in a syndication or something like that. So when you hear about people like dumping money into different things, a lot of people assume that people just have cash. They're just cash rich and they have all this money sitting on the sidelines. But often when they're investing something like a self-directed IRA where they're deploying those funds, letting the return come back in and allowing that money to grow tax-free until the time that you use it after retirement. So that's essentially the broad strokes of a self-directed. Again, no expert. So anyone that feels like I didn't explain it quite as clearly or wants to add on to that, please feel free. But 4 really, really good questions, I think, Ben. Yeah.
I think so too.
Right?
Yep.
Man, a few words. So I guess I'll wrap this thing up. We'll keep doing this because we get enough kind of inquiries in the group, and don't be afraid to put them out there. If you do, and for whatever reason, whatever group you're in, you're not seeing an immediate response on it, we'll try to capture it and bring it into these meetings going forward, and we may even expand it to deals that we're working on or whatever. But yeah.
Especially if there are some questions that are left unanswered, even if we don't know the answers, we'll try to bring someone on that does, probably.
Right. Yep. That's a great point. Yeah. Well, we can bring in guests that have more expertise if the question's more advanced or whatever the case may be. So Yeah, that's our first version of meeting minutes. Ben, anything you want to leave the folks with?
Not much. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in. Yeah, let us know what you thought, if you think this is useful, and if we should, keep those. So,
Word, as they say.
yep.
All right. I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
See ya.